see. What up? What up? Not you. I'm trying to see if I got my mic. Hold on. Let me get it together here on my end. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Yo. Import article. Let me see. Yo. Let me stop this. Hold on. Stop. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have my mic plugged up for whatever reason. The mic wasn't plugged up. So I'm gonna go back here to my channel. Hold on. Give me 1 second. It's the growing pains, man. Get it together. Let me go back to video manager. Here we go. Live stream. Here we go. Stream now. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me let them know right now. May have to refresh the page. All right. Let me turn it in the background. All right, we good. I'm here. I'm on Mixer. I'm everywhere, man. I'm working. We working. I'm working. All right. Make this small. All right, here I come, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me 1 second. Let me go to Facebook. I gotta mute somebody in the background. I got a lot of stuff going on. Let me mute. What's going on? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm getting it together. Let me mute myself here. All right, that's one muted. Let me go to Mixer. Hold up, I'm coming. Let me go here. Let me see. I don't know what the hell. Let me see. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, while I'm figuring this out, I'm back with my weekly show here. Which God versus religion, versus science versus evolution. You know what I mean? Not so much in that order, but you know what I'm talking about here. Now, my first show, like I said, the first episode was last week. A great show. It came out well. I was thoroughly pleased on what we put together. Let me go back to the dash. Let me make this a little bigger. What's over here? Okay. Make this one small. All right. So anyway, today I got a gentleman that was here last week. My man Black Mamba. Yeah, shout yourself. Let him know where you're from. You there?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, let him know where you're from.
Black Mamba. Cleveland.
From Cleveland.
Cleveland native.
East City is this city that we come with, so Ryan. I got it right? I said it right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so again, like I said, you weren't here last week. Now, listen, last week kind of turned out to be like a Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? Like I said, just figuring out, people been asking me to do a show like this for a minute. I normally do, like I said, I talk about the UFOs. I talk about a little bit of everything here, man. Bigfoot, and your boy next gen, I believe in it all. But anyway, like I said, you were here last week. Now, it was crazy. I reached out to this gentleman here. Yeah, Rich, get and shout yourself out, good brother. What's going on? Talk to me.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
From Chicago. Name's Rich. I don't really have a YouTube channel or nothing like that. But, just hanging out in the Facebook group, Bang Bang.
Oh, Bang Bang Next Gen Gamers. Shameless plug there. Non-stop entertainment, sun up to sundown. Bang Bang is crazy. But anyway, like I said, I asked you yesterday, did you want to come a part? Did you want to be a part of the show, rather? You know what I mean? And you said, sure, I'm going to go in. And you told me your exact words to me. Now, I don't want to, put words in your mouth. You said you're going to wreck some fools. Those was your exact words to me. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, yeah. That's what I intended. Because I was told I was going to be debating somebody on evolution.
Well, no, the name doesn't change. I mean, it's all of us, and God, religion, science, and evolution, more or less. You know what I mean? That's all. Like I said, we talk about a little bit of everything here on this show. But not only how I start. Well, I hear myself in the background back here. That's why. Hold on, let me put this down. I hear my echo. Okay, I know exactly where you're coming from. Normally, like I said, when I start these shows. When I do these shows, rather, you know what I mean? I ask the participants, What do you believe? Why do you believe? You know what I mean? And I give both of you guys. Let me know if you guys still hear the echo because it's coming from my OBS.
I'll hear it.
You won't hear because you're in the party with me.
Let me, no, I don't hear it.
You know what I mean? But I asked you guys, what do you believe? Why do you believe? What you believe? You know what I mean? Let me tweet this thing out. Let me know if it's still echoing here on you guys' end. You know what I mean? But anyway, I asked you, like I said, what do you believe? Why do you believe what you believe? You know what I mean? And like I said, and I always start off by saying this, okay? But this show here is not to offend anyone. It just provoke thought, and like I said, to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Because me personally, like I said, it's interesting to me. Like, you know, I would like to know why do you believe what you believe. You know what I mean? You know, and how do you get from there to there? But actually, if you guys would be so kind, like I said, to hit the like button, we can tweet this out. I'm gonna put it in a couple links on Facebook. Start off with you. You're new here. You said you want me to call you Ridge? One more time.
Yeah, you just call me Ridge. Okay. Man, that's fine. My gamer tag's a little too long, you know.
All right, Ridge. Let me ask you a question now. Again, my question is to you, good brother. Why do you believe what you believe? You know what I mean? You told me last week that you believe in the Most High, God, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. No, are you a Christian?
I mean, I don't know if I can be. I've never been baptized or nothing like that. I mean, I believe there's a higher power, a God. I feel like that's the easiest way to explain it. I guess I got led there just from life experience. There's crazy things that have happened, and I always make it out somehow. There's gotta be something watching out for me because I lived a pretty reckless life.
Okay, so your belief system comes from personally what you've been through in life, the ups, the downs. Led a rough life. 50 Cent been shot 9 times in the club. So you're high. You said that you saying that it has to be a Most High because if there wasn't, I shouldn't be here. Never could have made it. That's your testimony, basically. If it wasn't for Jesus or whoever, Mother Mary or God, that you wouldn't be here today. Is basically what you're saying. In unlike a word.
I mean, in a nutshell. I mean, that would probably sum it up the best.
Okay.
Just things that I view in life, just things I've seen. You know, there's got to be something. I feel like for everything to just be left up to chance, which is what like science has you believe, that just it's too much. It's too much chance.
Okay. So all right. Well, give me an example. What do you mean as far as science leaves it up to chance? Like, I need you to elaborate on that. You know, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Like, I mean, we're taught in school that there was a big bang at the beginning, and we all evolved, and everything's just random. Everything just randomly happened for no reason. Like, it just happened. There was nothing, and then it exploded, and then everything was created, and then Earth evolved after 4 billion years of just being a ball of lava, turned into a rock, and then it rained on the rocks, and then it created single-cell organisms, and then those evolved, and then everything's just random. Your existence, my existence, every video game we play, everything is just complete chance. And that's just, I can't buy into that.
Okay. So you don't believe anything when it comes to science or certain things? Or?
I mean, I believe in science. I definitely believe that, you know, it's not that I don't believe in any science, but just the science answers to where everything comes from. Like, where does time come from? You know, how did time evolve? Was it there before? Did it just stop? Was there no time and then nothing? Like, there wasn't any minutes, hours, days, weeks, months. Like, it just, time was at a standstill, and then it all just exploded into creation. Like, I just can't believe that. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Okay, we're gonna come back to that thing. Time. My man William Black Mamba, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Now I'm gonna ask you the same question. Why do you believe what you believe, or if you don't believe, or lack thereof? Like, talk to me. How did you? I'm asking first of all, were you brought up religious with any religion whatsoever, and it's something that you may have deviated away as you got older? Does it make sense to you? Like, talk to me.
Oh, okay. That's a good question because my grandfather was still he is a devout Baptist, and I have uncles and aunts and stuff that are Muslim, and my pops is like a traditional African priest. So it's lots of religions that I was exposed to as a kid. So I've seen a lot, like. And then we have some Native American relatives, and so we have like it's some aspects of like the concept of like ancestor worship and stuff like that. So I've seen not everything, but I've seen lots of things. Like I've seen the church side because I had to go to church as like a kid. And a lot of what they were saying, it just did not resonate to me. Like when they were just saying. Well, not necessarily saying it from the Bible, but just from like Sunday school, implying that the Earth was only 6,000 years old. It just seemed like, what, really? Like it takes these things like evolution. That takes a process to happen. That's not just something that's going to happen overnight. Like I give you a perfect example. Like just look at our experiences with dogs. Like, it's known fact that the first ones that we had were wolves. And every breed that we had has come from that. Like, it's been changes. Like, evolution isn't necessarily it's random change. It's change out of necessity. Like, if you get, like, what's a perfect dog?
German Shepherd?
Like a terrier. Yeah, a German Shepherd. Like, they changed that way because we bred them to do certain things.
Okay.
Like sled dogs. Like, if you keep continuously breeding a dog a certain way to have certain levels of strength for it to use its nose more, or take a dog like a greyhound. If you're breeding the fastest variation of that dog, over time it'll change. Like the last 200 years, we've gotten 80% of all of our dog breeds. That's a very short period of time, and that's direct human influence. So it's not random.
Okay.
Now there are certain aspects that might be random. Like you could take. Let's just go over like big cats, like tigers, lions, leopards, stuff like that. Like you take a leopard. Leopards, pound for pound, are stronger than lions and tigers, but they're smaller. They're good at climbing trees. The other ones can't. Cheetahs, they're fast. They have like they have a big lung capacity, but their bodies overheat. Like if you look at how a lion hunts, it's completely different than the rest. Like a lion, take like a buffalo, they'll do like a very gentle bite on the throat of a buffalo, but if they hunt a gazelle, they'll bite down and just crush his throat. So that takes like a mental thing. That's something that just doesn't happen overnight. Or even a leopard, when they bite down, they'll bite the throat. They bite down on your cerebral cortex and break your spine. Like that's a unique trait. Okay. No other big cat does that. Like these aren't things that you would refer to as random occurrences. These are things that
not by chance.
Maybe this breed.
So you're saying it's not by chance?
This cat. Can't be. This cheetah needed to be faster. Maybe it's not strong enough to kill buffalo. And like tigers, they're bigger. They have smaller tails. You would think that because they're cats, they do certain things that's similar, but at the same time, lions are the only ones that have prides. Every other big cat is solitary. Like that's an evolutionary trait. That's not something that's just, oh, this is random. Like, I mean, you could go over. We go over people, to be honest. Like, look at. I mean, it's not good to talk about it, but like, we probably, as human beings, we probably don't have a LeBron James without the slave Olympics that happened a couple hundred years ago, with the constant breeding of. This is the alpha strong black male with the alpha strong black female. These are the things that brought about bigger, stronger human beings. And the same thing applies if you constantly do that with smart people or maybe other traits. Like it's no mistake that if your dad was a track star and your mom was like maybe a star NBA player, that child has a better chance of being athletically gifted than just. It's not automatic, but you definitely give yourself a better chance. Like the athlete Russell Westbrook, his mom and dad both played college. I'm not saying that automatically leads to that happening, but there are things that spike up changes. There's definitely things that spike up changes.
Okay. All right. So, so you're saying that some things that are passed down via mother genetically. Okay. All right. All right.
From my perspective, at least.
Wrath. Do you agree with that, or don't agree with that, or it's up to Jesus?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I do believe that. I mean, I definitely believe in microevolution. I mean, there's different evolution. A lot of people don't know. Like it's not all just under one term evolution. There's microevolution. So that's like the dogs he's talking about. Like dogs will always make dogs. If you interbreed dogs, you can get Rottweilers and pit bulls, and that's literally what it is. They bred dogs for the traits they wanted, and then just kept breeding them and breeding them and breeding them, and that's why we have different dogs.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna flip this up. Let me ask you a question, okay? You guys are out there dancing around each other. Let me get right to the nitty gritty now. Now, last week I asked you specific questions because I was looking for some people that I wasn't looking for a particular religion. Someone that loves the major three: Christianity, Islam, and Hebrew, Israelite. So no, just Hebrew, you're Jewish, whatever, right? The three. So I was trying to get some people that believed in God, Jesus, whatever the case may be, right? And you said you believe. Right. All right. So let me ask you a question. Now, when it comes to this Bible, whether the Old and New Testament, now you will consider yourself a Christian. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I would have to say so. If I were to fall under any religion, it'd probably be Christianity.
Okay. Now, when it comes to Christianity and this here religion, is it something that you don't believe, or you more or less it was in the book? I believe it.
No, because I mean, if it's in the book, not everything in every book is very good. Books are written by people, and the books that we have today, we don't even know if they're anything like they were when they were first written. They've all been rewritten by people to push agendas and to push beliefs on people. So
those are some words they just say that because most Christians, modern day Christians or whatever. I won't even say just anyone that believes in religion in itself, that but by saying that they're they don't believe everything there is real, they kind of may look at it like it's blasphemous a little bit. But when it comes to this religion, what do you believe? What don't you believe in? I can start with I can pick out what you don't believe in. Okay.
I think it's more reasonable to believe that everything exists from a creator, God, whatever people want to refer to him as. That just makes more sense than everything is chance. Like, yes, microevolution, dogs and cats learning they're still all cats. They're still all dogs. Like a dog isn't you're never gonna get a lizard out of a dog. Like you can breed 1,000 million dogs. We've never in our lifetime or in any human's lifetime saw any animal come out of another animal. Like
okay,
it's just like the hardest question you ever get for evolution: what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay, but listen. Now listen.
It's the same concept.
Okay, the same concept. So riddle me this, okay? Now I want you to give me how you say the best answer to your ability, okay? Now you said something very interesting. You said you can't get a chicken from a dog or a lizard from a fox, right? All right, you go with it. All right. So if we all again came from Adam and Eve, How could you get a Chinese person from a white person or a Spanish person from a black person? If we all came from Adam and Eve.
We all came from. Like if you look, if we all came from, look, if we all came from Adam and
Okay.
Eve, people branched out around the world
Okay.
and had different features, just like the cats, the dogs, the wolves he was talking about, and the lions. People needed different things for different areas. I mean,
Okay.
I never really put much thought into people. I'm more interested
Well, that's
in
the.
like
I mean, and again.
how everything
Okay. All right.
exists. You know?
Well, again, just going back to that right there. I understand. Let me narrow down my question. What I mean by this. Okay, I understand that if you're saying that if someone may have moved to the mountains and you may become a little bit more hairier, I give you that. Or if you're in the desert, maybe you may get a little darker, right? But that's not going to change you genetically. If you were to take you and your mate, and say she take you and your wife and put you on Pluto, whether how hot is there or how cold is there, you're white, if I'm not mistaken, right? Rich?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're gonna give birth to nothing but white babies. Your features is cool, whatever, but it's not gonna change who you are genetically.
Yeah, but it's very possible. It's very possible down the line that if I'm on Pluto, for example, I mean, I'm never gonna see the sun, so I may just get I may not give birth to anything but white babies with my wife or whoever I'm with.
Okay.
But eventually, maybe thousands of years down the line, they may be even whiter and whiter and whiter because there's no sun.
Okay.
There's no sun.
But
And then maybe I'll get hairier, but we'll still be people. We'll still be people. People will always have people.
all right, you want to answer? You want to add something to that, Will?
Yeah, that's one thing I was saying. Like, if you were on Pluto, like, I mean, yes, of course, the heat thing, but I think that lack of gravity would change your physiology. I don't even think you could maintain the current form that we have. I think life forms would be probably more blob-like because you wouldn't have the gravity to, like,
Pluto
hold that. And the thing is, we're like a part of the moon's pull is in a small way that affects us too. So I mean, not have like it's. I mean, it's kind of hard to even say how different we would be on the moon. Oh, it's smaller than our moon. I think the moon had like 1/6. So like we could be like literally like something out of the movie The Blob.
Well, as far as that question, I would just mean, I would just use an example.
Probably not right away.
Yeah, I would just mean, just use an example.
Yeah.
What I'm basically what I'm saying, was outside of your physical appearance, or whether you may be taller, shorter, or wider. What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say, it's not going to change your race. I understand we still be humans, but ultimately what I'm saying is just because just going by that Bible, you know what I mean? But to me, like I said, kind of puts things in disarray because my forefathers may have moved to Asia. It doesn't mean that my eyes are going to get slanted and it's going to change the race, my ethnic background. This race is what I'm saying. And regardless of where you may go on this planet, you have people of color that are living in Alaska for thousands of years. How do you want to add that, right? They're still going to be people of color. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to break it down whether Haitian, Jamaican, they're still people of color. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even if you believe in evolution, if you believe in evolution, we all of us started in Africa, all of us, and then everybody just started branching out, and so even if you believe in evolution, at one point we were all one race. Then I guess like we would all just be kind of looking the same, and as people branched out, they just changed.
Alright, so going to this book, right? And would you admit that you're going to say that God is perfect, God makes no mistakes?
Yeah, I would say that.
Right, and it says there in the book of Genesis, right? Let us create man in our image, right? And something I brought up last week, I didn't really get a chance to go into it much. It's not about me. I want you guys to give your opinion. But it says, let us create man in our image and in our likeness. Now, according to the Hebrews, which again, to be a Hebrew Jew, it means to be the descendants of Abraham. They don't believe in what you call the trifactor, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So when they write this book, they're reading it from singular. Monotheism. One, Father, the Abba, right? So I raised the question last week, who was us? Who was our? You know what I mean? Who was us and who was our? Who was he talking to, right? Then someone turned and said, well, he's talking to the angels or whatever. Somebody says it last week because, again, if we were making his image and making his likeness, there were several different species of, man, you had Homo erectus, we're Homo erectus, so we're Homo sapiens, you had Homo erectus, you had Neanderthals, Cro-Magnon, you had all the different species of man, right? When I'm saying there's something not being told because going by this book, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying some of the people that I ran across throughout life, they believe everything and anything of importance was going to be in this book. And I'm saying that a lot of it is missing, what doesn't really add up to me or to anyone that says he's going to use both sides of his brain to think. Because it says there, again, in Genesis, that God gave Adam the dominion over all of the animals in the kingdom. Basically, it was Adam's job to go out there and name every animal within the kingdom. After Adam finished doing that, he realized that I'm lonely, I need a mate. And God fashioned a mate. So, we got the story that he took a rib, or whatever the case may be. Now, again, we're going with the guy just forever knowing. He knew that Adam should have been lonely and Adam might want to mate, but that's another story for another day, right? So what I don't understand when I'm saying there's a lot not being said or being told, if we're just going to go about this book and, why someone may have questions, is that we went from being able to talk, being able to articulate ourselves, and name stuff, to not in being able to talk, what I mean with early forms of man, that was grunting and rapping shit on the walls. So I don't know where the hell did that come from, but, so there's a lot, again, not missing. I'm sorry, there is a lot, like I said, not missing, especially if you're going to go by and say that God is forever knowing, knows everything, and makes no mistake. Like I said, then again, why were there so different species of man? Or do you even believe that there were Neanderthals and stuff like that, or you don't believe any of that?
Oh yeah, there were Neanderthals and stuff. Like, see, I'm not like to where I just read the Bible every day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not. I believe there's a God. I believe there definitely probably was. Is it that hard to believe there was a Jesus?
Oh, yeah.
A perfect person that came here and.
Okay.
I'm missing stuff.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting a little ahead of myself, right? Why do you believe it was a Jesus?
I mean, I guess it's just faith. I guess that's really all there is to it. I mean,
the reason why I ask is this is my, like I said, me doing these shows, right, or whatever, it's therapeutic for me. Like I said, I like to. I wonder how do we get from A to Z. I don't understand. Like a lot of times, how do we get from A to Z? Like what I mean by that is, why do you believe what you believe? You know what I mean? Or that's one of the things, questions that I have. Like I don't understand, like, why do we believe what we believe? Why do you believe what you believe, or whatever the case may be? You know what I mean? So I'm asking you. So why do you, like I said, this whole Jesus thing? Like what sold you on the story of Jesus? Like what happened?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about it. It's just something, I don't know if it's from early childhood. It's something I believe. It's not that hard for me to believe that somebody came along one day that was perfect. Like, everybody's messed up, is it hard for me to believe that a man was born and didn't do anything wrong, didn't commit sin, and that's where the whole Christianity religion came from?
Okay, all right, let's have fun with that.
That's not that hard.
And first of all, I don't want you to think that I'm badgering you or anything like that. If I got you on a hot seat, like I said, this is just, like I said, I hope that we all can take away something from this conversation. This whole, like I said, getting back to this whole Jesus thing, all right? And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Hello?
Killer, can you hear him?
Oh yeah,
I'm asking you. How old are you, Raph? If you don't mind me asking.
29.
29. All right. And the way, again, like I said, I was more or less, like I said again, brought up in the church. Brought up in the church. Sung in the choir every Sunday and practice and stuff. So again, it wasn't until I started to travel. If you don't know, I used to box, and with boxing, it took me all around the world. I got to meet different people from all walks of life, right? More or less. Then I went to school. You know what I mean? Went to school. How you say, got a high education, right? And then there was some things kind of stuck out to me. Well, I've always had questions growing up. Like some things never really made any sense to me. But just going back to this whole Jesus thing, that the problem with even like I said, because religion, which is the truth, religion is a man-made concept. You know what I mean? It is. Man has been on this earth far too long without any book, Bible, or religion. Do you disagree with that, or no? You just think that man's been here, Bible, book, and that's something that
No, I would agree with that. We've been here a long time. Do I disagree that? No, I would agree with that. We've been here forever. There's been all types of religions, all types of things that people believe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I believe that.
So again, just going back to this, we're going to say that God is forever knowing, God is forever seeing, God is perfect, right? Because what you call dogma, you know what I mean? Even to this day, there's so much blood that has been spilled in the name of religion. Now you just said, I just want you going this thing about Jesus being born is perfect, this, that, and the other, right? Jesus wasn't a Christian. You do realize that, right?
Yes. Jesus was a Jew.
So if Jesus was to come back to the earth today, he wouldn't know what the hell a Christian was. Jesus was a Jew. You know what I mean? Jesus, and again, unless it's something.
Yeah, but Christianity is the only thing that differentiates the Christian religion is the belief that Jesus was born the Son of God. And
okay,
then,
but no, so they say. That's what man says. But again, just going by the context, okay? Jesus didn't tell man to change the religion. He didn't say, hey, we're going to practice or we're going to worship this way. That's nothing that, that didn't come out of Jesus' mouth. Am I right? Am I wrong? I mean, if I missed over there in the Bible, I please forgive me. They still, last time I read the Bible, he more or less practiced a Jewish lifestyle, more or less, right? Now, if you don't agree with that, you can change, but I'm just saying, according to the scriptures and everything that, I'm not even saying that whether it's real or whether it's fake or real. I'm just saying what's there in between those lines. He didn't say to, his followers that we're going to change the faith-based thing that we had going on. Because there was no mention of a Christian even like 200 years or whatever. Or they didn't even put the Bible together. Some say 75 years, some say 100, 200 years after he passed away. They say until they decided to write these things down. Look at it like this. I'm still going to come back to this Jesus thing, right? That's like if you go home and tell your wife, baby, I went to the store. When I went to the store, I saw the next gen. The next gen was out there drinking on the corner, right? Now, and your wife said, well, he was drinking on the corner. Then he got bad kidneys. He's going to die. So your wife goes to work next day. Well, and my husband, Brad, went to the store. He seen his best friend out there next gen. He was saying bang, bang. He was drinking. And when he was drinking, he also gave somebody's grandmother his phone number, right? Boop. And then that person go back and tell someone else. Right. So we're talking about at least 75 years at a minimum. We're going to say 75. Someone decided to write this stuff down, right? Right? You know what I mean? And we talking about word of mouth. Right. By the time we ever played this game in school where the people line up and they say each person say the same thing, and by the time they get to the end person, the message has been changed. But we're gonna say at least 75 years, right? In a minimum, right? So again, I go back to when I say that then Jesus never told them or whoever his followers to change the religions, because there are 44 denominations of Christianity alone. You know what I mean? 44 at a minimum. So if this Jesus that you say were to come back today, tomorrow, he wouldn't know what the hell a Christian was. It's basically, I'm sorry what I'm saying, And basically I said to say this to say that man has his hand all through religion, because again, religion is a man-made concept. Because if you want to again Just believe a little bit what's in this Bible and with this book. Adam and Eve didn't have a religion. They didn't have a Bible, and they supposedly had a one-on-one relationship with God. Walked and talked with God. I mean, just going by the story that's in this book. So, I said it to say this, right? So, just going back to what I said, you know, as far as religion or what in itself, that, even like I said, you know, even the name Jesus. And I said, you know, like I said, knowledge is key. Like I said, it was a famous saying by Napoleon. He said that it's religion that keeps the poor from killing the rich. There were no J's in Hebrew back then. There were no J's. Like, this is fact. So you can look for yourself. So this time that this Jesus supposedly walked the earth, whatever, according to those times, there were no such thing as the letter J in Hebrew. So this name that whoever may be screaming, you know, his name is not even Jesus, because again there were no J's in Hebrew. But I'm going back to what I was going to say from the beginning, that if I should say this, anybody my age or a little younger or whatever, or this that sounds of any of these doctrines or any of these religions, we don't do the corpus or the triliteral root with some of these words that are derived from. Like, do you believe that Mary was a virgin?
Maybe. I mean, I don't, dude. What I believe is just, I don't know, it's what I believe. I'm not really into reading the Bible or anything.
No, it's fine. What I'm saying about this, when I'm not trying to put you on the hot seat, because all this conversation again is provoked thought. And if you think that I'm just not about that. You know, it's not a debate. We're just having an open conversation. Each one teach one, right?
Right.
What I'm saying is this, that, you know, because which is one thing, like I said, is very dangerous about religion, right? Because when you do the corpus behind these words, the word virgin in itself doesn't mean to never have sex. It means unwed, which the word virgin comes from Greek. So, like I said, a lot of people, which is the truth, whoever, when you're, most 9 times out of 10, you don't give a choice in the matter of what faith base you're going to be. If your parents or whatever, this is what you're taught to you, right? No one itself, no one. And this is a big thing, one of the things I've always had a problem with, even as a kid or whatever, right? Because we're born in America, right? Or just take me, I'm black, right? Or whatever, you know, black, African American, whatever proper name you choose to give me or D or whatever, right? Just know that we were more or less Christian where we came from, right? Right? We were in Africa, right? So again, this was a religion that was given to people of color when they came into America. Like I said, to enslave us, but that's neither here or there, right? I say that to say this, right? That religion or whatever, just say you've been born in Turkey or whatever, 9 times out of 10 you've been Muslim, or if you've been born in China, you might have been a Buddhist. You know what I mean? Right? Religion in itself, that whatever, however you believe, right? It was taught to you by your parents or whatever, and then it was taught to them by their parents. You know what I mean? No one here on this earth is born with knowledge to self of any creator, anything. It has to be taught to you. And that in itself, again, we talking about anything dealing with man is you have fault. That in itself, it's kind of spooky to me, like, you know, like, because if this being or this God is real, like, you think he would make himself be known, or you know what I mean? Or you have civilizations that are still living behind the hut some damn where they don't have any contact with the outside world. You know what I mean? And you don't know anything about any Jesus, any God, any Moses, any Abraham. You know what I mean? So that in itself, or to even say this, good brother, that someone's sitting there just watching all this mayhem go on, babies being raped, murdered, or whatever, and just sitting there like I that's one thing I said. Like I said, I wanted to show have this for conversation, because given all that the name, it does sound kind of harsh. How do we still believe what we believe, or to read some of the stories in the Bible? You know what I mean? It just sound crazy as hell.
See, that's why I'm not into reading. I mean, I don't really read the Bible, man. I don't go to church. I don't, I just believe there's a God. I can believe there was a Jesus. That's not hard for me to believe that somebody was a Jesus, whatever his name was. But people have free will. People can do what they want. I mean, that's why there's crazy shit in the world everywhere. Everybody does what they want. I mean, nothing stops any of us in this party right now from getting in a bus and running people over, or you don't do it because you know it's wrong.
Okay, all right. I'll let you go with
these
this.
things.
But would you chalk that up to a religion? Because I don't believe that you have to have a religion to believe no right from wrong. Or
No, I don't think. I mean, I think instinctually, I think you're taught right and wrong at a young age, and then whoever started right and wrong, I mean, who knows? That's years ago. That's before our time. I mean, I'm sure at some point it was perfectly okay to go next door and go to the next encampment and murder everybody. But at some point, somebody stopped and said, "Why do we got to do that?"
well, Christianity preaches a lot about that murder. A lot of that in that Bible, you know.
And that's exactly. I mean, it's just like you said. The Bible was written how many times? How many different times? Like, we don't know. I mean, I believe there is a God. I believe everything was created. It makes more sense to me than just
Okay, let me ask you a
random
question.
chance. And I know.
Does it coddle you? What I mean by coddle you? I mean, does it make you feel better, or that you can sleep at night thinking that maybe there is someone up there, you know, or
I mean, it's possible. I've never really stopped to think about. I mean, look, I work on like ambulances and
okay.
stuff. So like, I've seen people, and I've met a lot of people in like their worst situation in life, like they're ever gonna experience. I've taken people home to die. I've seen it all, man. And like sometimes you have conversations with these people, and almost everybody finds something at the end. And sometimes, I mean, I got weird stories, man, of people just talking to people that are in the room, but there's no one there, but they're talking to somebody, and sometimes they get weird shit, and then the family will come, and then they'll be like, hey, you know, what's his name said this shit is in the shoebox or whatever. It's just weird, and it always ends up just weird things I've seen in life that just make me think there's something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a God or something.
I mean, I don't know. Hey, Will, chime in here, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Why don't you believe in? I mean, what's up? Need some milk? Shout out everybody, like I said, in the live streams in the chat. Someone donated $1. Whoever you are, I do appreciate it. I didn't see. I was looking at another screen here. I'm looking my dogs out. Like, you did Will? Neethles. You did Neethles? Neethles,
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, talk to me. Now, again, this is my good brother Neethles. Again, like I said, the Broadband Bullies. Where are you at in life? And I mean, like, what do you believe? What you believe? Do you believe in God? Like, talking. Let the people know what you like. What do you deem to be real? What you think maybe spooky? Talking. Come on, dog. Give me some bathroom.
All right. So for me, I was brought up in a very religious household. I don't believe in Christianity. I wasn't brought up on that. I was actually brought up on Hinduism.
Now listen. Now,
but yeah.
Explain to what Hinduism is, please, for those that want to.
Okay. Just a general outline of Hinduism. Even I don't know it too well, but basically, we believe, kind of like in Buddhism, that you will return to life eventually, maybe in some other form, maybe as an animal. And then we also have like many gods. We're polytheistic. We don't believe in one God. We have many. And then so on. You know, there's a lot of moral stuff with Hinduism, like you know how like do not bed with thy neighbor and do not kill people. You know, that's a very heavy thing in Hinduism, and we're very tolerant of other religions. There's nothing in Hinduism that says like fuck this person just because they're, I don't know, gay. Like there's nothing like that in Hinduism. But anyways, for me, it was always hard to believe in just some being above me, and they just created life just cause. Like, I just don't get it. They created us just to what? Observe us? To do nothing? Like, for me, it's hard to believe in gods and all this because crazy shit happens all the time. And you tell me it's just part of their master plan? See something happen, see something unfold, to do nothing. I don't know. Religion's a weird thing to me.
I say this when besides me, it has an echo. Wait, I don't know why. I mean, echoing. I don't know. Let me take this thing down. Hold on 1 second. Me personally, like I said, part of religion. Not that I know. Religion is made was put it to control us. What I mean by control, and if you look at the days of the Roman Empire, this, that, and the other, but whoever, Leo, if you didn't say that the earth Earth was the center of the universe. Shout out to whoever left a fight out in the live stream. You just said that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. You'd be, burned at the stake. Or like I look at it like this. Look how far we could have advanced in science and technology, whatever the case may be, had it not been for religion. You know what I mean? You look at like I said, Islam. And if you just going back to, I'm not saying it's true, but just going back to the days of the Sumerians, and which is Sumer, Mesopotamia, which is modern day Iraq right now. They were leading the world in far as technology advancements. A lot of the things we have now, laws and everything, come from them. Then Islam came along, and it kind of stifled their growth. You know what I mean? Because again, not saying you, Wrath, but there are a lot of people that only believes that the Earth is only 6,000 years old, or they believe that BC stands for before Christ. Actually, BCE stands for before Common Era. But again, like I said, as far as religion, or it was they did the Brookings Institute, and it was Harvard and Yale. They took some of the top minds, and you're seeing here in America and across the world, and they did a study, right? And basically they were saying what the fall of our society is because of religion, because most people believe that God, Jesus, whoever is going to come back within their lifetime to straighten this out. And what I mean by that, you take what happened down in South Carolina last year with Dylan Roof. You had 9 people of color, black people in there, in this historical black church, and they're praying to Jesus, whatever they're doing. You had this racist kid going there, killed 9 black people, right? Praying to Jesus. And you know what happened the following day when they cleaned it out, opened it for business? The other people went there and prayed to Jesus, to the people that got killed, praying to Jesus. Like, seriously, and I listen, and not to bring this on the whole white black thing, but I asked the question, right, on my Facebook page. I said, what has been the worst thing that happened to people for color? Was it religion, or was it slavery? You know what I mean? Because that slavery, I mean, of course slavery is horrible, but religion, and again, I don't have a problem with anyone's religion, but it keeps us subservient. I feel as though it keeps us not asking or answering the questions, because let's look at some of the stories in the Bible, right? And that's why, because you yourself said you don't believe a lot of things in there, but you get the knowledge of if any God or your Jesus from this hit book. So I don't know how you can say, I'm not making fun of you, but you say that you don't believe everything in here, but you're still going to believe in this story here, which to me I think is crazy. But you how should I say this, right, without being, you got people when they say Revelations, right, when the world was going to end, they said the stars is going to fall down to earth, right? This is what it says in the book. Now scientifically, we know that can't happen. So what they say now, they say, well, we don't mean that literally, we're talking about figuratively. Like, it's crazy stuff. But those people back then literally thought that when God's going to come back, when this wrath, that all the stars are going to fall down to earth. You know what I mean? Or even like I said today, right, which I'm talking about, it's a hustle. It is a big business, because the first form of Christianity where they choose was Catholicism, the Catholic Church, right? 1 month, right?
Well, yeah, it's a business. I mean, look how rich.
Exactly.
That's exactly
1 month.
That's exactly why it's hard for me to conform to any religion.
1 month, bro.
Like I just
1 month when the Catholic Church has enough money, enough wealth to eradicate hunger here on the planet. 1 month. Now, you know what? That's too much. You know what? Say we're gonna break it down, right? I'm going to say just black churches alone, right? I'm not talking about the Joel Osteen. I'm talking about the little black churches you see on the corner in the hood next to the liquor store. In America alone, those little black mom and pop churches, it's a sum of $23 billion, $23 million every Sunday. They collect every Sunday. Listen. Now, mind you, they don't report their taxes, so I'm quite sure that figure is much more than that. But at a minimum, $23 million a month, right? Now, you do 23, you got 4 Sundays in a month, 23 times 4, right? There should be no hungry black, I'm not even going to say, I'm going to remove the race. Any poor people in America, 80 most of my $1 million a fucking month. You know what I mean? This is one, you're talking about big business here. The Brookings Institute, check this wild shit out here, right? And let you know it's not a hustle, right? The Brookings Institute, before man supposedly went to the moon, they did a survey, and they told NASA, when you go to the moon, right, and you find proof of older civilizations or whatever the case may be, whether you're talking about the pyramids, I'm not even going to get on that. They said, do not tell the people because the religious structure on our planet will fall apart. Because you will have, again, what they say Christians say, well, if Jesus died for my sins, well, did he die for them sins also? You know what I mean? Then you begin, like I said, to raise those type of questions, and they don't want to get into those type of questions, like literally, you know what I mean? But again, like I said, we talking about big business, and anything, like I said, dealing with man, you know, you're gonna have error. And I listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but you have more pedophiles and more sex crimes committed in sexual deviance in the Catholic Church than you do have in prisons, and this is a fact. And you know what I mean? Like seriously, like you know what I mean? Which is just wrap your head around that. You know, like literally. Someone sent me a story on Facebook, right? Now, and before you can't believe everything. So I actually took the article and I Googled and see where it came from. Did the Catholic Church forgive this father? He was like he infected a whole bunch of children, rape or whatever, with HIV, and the Catholic Church forgave him. Like, you know what I mean? So many children, again, because just not to bring down the church and to keep good faith. Like, this shit is crazy to me, man. You know, like, this shit here is wild. Like, you know what I mean? Because even like I said it again, and a lot of people don't know, and not just keep, taking a dig at the Catholic Church. But what you ever ask yourself why the nuns or the priests are not supposed to procreate? Because again, according to this Bible, this book, we was put here to procreate, to the earth. You know what I mean? That's not something that came down from God. So a lot of, like I said, a lot of people sign up to these religions that don't know, they don't do corpus. See, back in the day, well, still to this day, the Catholic Church, had just as much power as the king, and it was real corrupt. So you have to say if you had the Pope, right? Instead of you handing down the popeship to the next person in charge, you would give it to your son. You know what I mean? And he would give it to his son. They would keep it in the family. So that law, like I said, came down from the king, more or less, back then, that, they weren't supposed to have sex to have sons. You know what I mean? So that again, that has nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with the book. No. That came down from the king. So I say, like how people, like, again, sign up for these religions and stuff, and man, has his hand all in it. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like that in itself, like I said, I'm listening to you, bro, and I do applaud you for coming on the show. And like I said, to have, like I said, an open form of, like I said, to talk. You know what I mean? But I want, like, how's your faith? Like, why do you, like, what I mean? Like even a little bit, I just scratched the surface.
Like I told you, man. No, like I told you, man. I mean, like, when you bring up all these, like, I'm not in any conformity. I only say, like, I would be labeled a Christian simply because I believe that, yeah, it's very possible that there was a man that came here and was a good person and people followed him. Yeah, I mean, that's not hard for me to believe. As far as conform religion and mega churches, and that's exactly why I don't go to, like, churches are a corrupt system nowadays. Like, there's these that church in Florida that wouldn't open to anybody.
I get you. And even I can believe, there was a man who was very knowledgeable, very nice, and people followed him.
I'm a good person. What the hell you guys talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So that's very believable. But, I mean, you believe his father could create reality. Like, do you believe in that portion?
No, yeah, I definitely believe that there's a higher power to everything. Like, okay, let me ask you a question. Zaire, anybody can. What started everything? Like, what started everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you guys think started the universe, for example, and then just go down the line?
Okay.
Big Bang.
Well, and again, listen. So you know what, bro? And that is a good question. Because that's a question that you're asking, bro. I had as a kid, like, if God created us, if we're going to go by this, who created God? You know?
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Okay,
I mean,
well, listen,
if you believe
but
in God,
okay, listen, because you can't just stop there, right? And I'm just going by the stories, how you say, the information that was given to us. And and all I'm saying, by this information that is given to us, what's here in this book, and you may even say to yourself, I know everything, some of the stuff may not be real. Okay, well, fine. So if I have any questions, or I may have, say, find out of faith, to even know what, even one better, to say that I'm going to go, that God made himself shown or presence to some people 5,000 years ago, right? Listen to this, right? That God, Jesus, whoever, made himself shown or known to so many people so many thousand years ago, right? And this is what comes to the foolery and fuckery, right? Because, and we're talking about dogma. Because Christians, the Hebrews, the Jews, they look at Christians like they're crazy because they have their Tanakh, their Torah, a part of their Christian Bible. You know what I mean? Which the Old Testament doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. So you have the Jews looking at Christians like they're crazy, right? Let's check it out, right? Then Islam came along. That's the youngest of the three major religions, right? Then Islam came along, right? And you got Christians looking at them like they're crazy because, again, they have their parts of their Christian Bible, you know what I mean, whatever their book, a part of their Qurans from the stories, whatever the prophets stuff, which doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. So they're looking at them like they're crazy, right? It's just talking about that dog when they keep us arguing amongst themselves. But this is what happens, right? Christians will say that the reason we went from being Jews or Hebrew or whatever, because the old religion failed us. I've heard this many times. And sometimes, what are these debates and forums? I'm watching debates. Now we have debates about video games and stuff. They do the same thing as far as religion. Our job, literally. And I mean, it's just the error of man. I remember Phil said something like, console wars are distasteful and just X, Y, and Z, right? That's just the nature of man. Whether it's console, people argue over consoles. People argue over LG and Samsung, who got the best. Like literally, this just the error in man. But hear me out, right? So, like I said, how should I say this, right? Or even one better, when people look at me, next gen, you believe in aliens and that and this, so which I listen. I look at someone like who doesn't believe or just think that intelligent life only exists here. Because again, I rarely tell you seldomly what I believe, because if you look at the root word to belief is to be unsure. You know what I mean? Literally. You know what I mean? So I really say what I believe. But people, next gen, you believe in or little green men, and not just the bang with Christianity. When you ask them questions or whatever to things that may not make sense, what blame on the aliens? See, that's when they get to talk spooky. I'm just trying to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Because I don't think no man knows it all. But check it out, right? They make fun of me, right, or whatever. Now, whether you believe these people or not, that's neither here or there. But it's according to the Sumerians. Now, you can't, like I said, we can argue all day and day about what came first, the chicken or the egg, but we can't argue the fact that 2 + 2 = 4, right? Now, listen. And I'm going to choose my words wisely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Listen to what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that it's right? Now, according to the Sumerians, now I wasn't there, but this is what these people said, that they were genetically modified, right? I didn't say it was true, that they were genetically modified, you know what I mean? They were genetically modified, to basically to serve their lords, their gods, their masters. Now, what you have, I'm quite sure you heard of the Old Testament, which is basically it's a watered down version of the Sumerian tales of creation, right? This is where it gets a little spooky, right? And I remember me learning about this in school, and I said, "Grandma, look at this, Grandma." I remember clear as day. I said, "Grandma, look at this, Grandma." This, and I'll show some stuff what I learned, because I always thought history was very boring. But I got this one teacher, again, shout out Mr. Farrakhan. I don't know if he's still living, but anyway, Mr. Farrakhan was my English teacher in Shabazz, right? And which is actually Louis Farrakhan's nephew. So he always kind of taught us things outside of the, what's in there. He always went deep into it. But anyway, he was my world history teacher, my sophomore, my junior year of high school, right? And that's how I learned about the Sumerian, which sparked my interest. And the same stories that you have in the Old Testament, let us create, it says here, let us, again, that's why I always go back to the us. Let us create man in our image. And, the Adam, which, and the Christians call him Adam, the Sumerians call it the Adam. You know what I mean? Same thing. You know what I mean? Let us fasten the Adam in our image and our likeness, right? Now, this is what it says there. Even like I said, the story of Babel. In the Old Testament, it says, that they were building a tower. I'm paraphrasing here. They're building a tower to sit in the heavens with the Lord, the God. And God took it as being kind of disrespectful. And it says, let us go there and confuse man's tongue. Now, according to the Sumerians, what they said was, they were building basically a ship or whatever to sit in the heavens with their fathers. You know what I mean? Literally, it says that there. Now, this is what these people, they were building a ship to go to the heaven, more or less, with their fathers, to travel the stars with their fathers. And then the Anunnaki said, let us go down there and confuse out of the Dom's tongue. That's where you got all these different, languages from. Now, again, going back to, I'm going to go back to what you can prove right now to this day. They talked about, like, the people in the Bible, right? You have the story of the giants, the Nephilim, which means those who came from heaven, the Nephilim, right? It says there in the Old Testament, that the sons of God found the daughters of men fair. They bed them, took them, and they had babies or children. They gave birth to a race of giants called the Nephilim. In the Sumerian tales of creation, it says that the sons of our gods found the daughters of man fair. They married them, and they gave birth to children, but they gave birth to a violent race called the Nephilim, right? The giants, right? Now, this is what the Sumerians said. So, my grandmother said that this was obviously they took those stories from the Bible, right? That's what most people would think. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe, like I said, I should have brought this with me, but neither here. I'm a goat mouth. I believe it was in the 50s or 60s. I forget. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to find the name of the book or something along the fact that Christianity turned on his head or something. Like, everything, basically was saying everything we've been taught about Christianity was wrong. Because you have, not saying that it's right or wrong, hear me out, but you have a culture that predates the Jews by thousands of years, right? By thousands of years. And you have these stories in here.
They're the first culture.
Yeah, they're credited to being the oldest.
I know exactly who you're saying. The Sumerians. Okay. They're the original.
So they say. Now,
the first people to stop and write something down. It was them.
Now, there you go. A lot of people don't know who they are, but they are. I'm not even saying that it's true, but they are credited to being the oldest civilization on this planet. Now, which again was trippy because there are some of their writings and textures, and some of their stuff. Because again, they just wrote, basically kept journals. They wrote a lot of stuff down, right? They also wrote about the pyramids. In school, like I said, I was taught that the Egyptians built them, whatever the case may be. But their writings, or whatever the case, cuneiform tablets that they were describing more or less was those pyramids. Right now to this day we can't build a pyramid, but that's neither here nor there because what's really trippy? You have those how you say, the face on Mars and Cydonia and this, that, and the other. Whether you say it's a face, not a face, you had a couple people that came out from NASA and said there were structures or buildings or whatever the case on Mars. Whether you believe it or not, fine. It is what it is. But those, what's trippy as hell, those buildings that face on Mars or whatever you want to call it, the pyramids of Cydonia and Mars, it lines up point for point with the Great Gizzard, all that stuff. It lines up point to point. It lines up directly, you know what I mean? Now, again, could that be a coincidence? I don't know. The fact that this big, massive, object sits on one true north that can only be mapped from coming from outer space or coming from down above, you know what I mean? Again, now, listen, I'm quite sure, you've been in a house before, and you hear the house ricking it and make a whole bunch of noise. It's called the house settling, right? Every so often, I don't care what it is, whether building, house, whatever, it sits within this foundation, it sinks more or less, right? So every so often, it sinks, right? And this things are, whether you say they're 5,000 years old, 2,000 years old, this object, or whatever the case, or this structure, has sunk less than like 1/10 of an inch over all these thousands of years. Literally, you know what I mean? When I say that we don't have the technology this day, you have stones at the bottom of these pyramids or these structures at access of 200 tons. We don't have the equipment today to move something like 200 tons. But again, to make it even more trippier, inside the pyramid there itself, you have, you would call them casket tombs or whatever. The top weighs like 80 tons in this little ass room, so there's no way they can turn it, put it to fit. Like, this shit crazy, right? But again, that's neither here nor there. But what gives what they're saying some credence, right? Because when they found their scriptures or their tablets, when they didn't have a Bible, but they found some of their writings, the Q tablet, and it was decoded or translated, whatever, that they said that they were genetically modified. And these people were talking about DNA, again, thousands of years ago. Now, I'm just talking about in modern day. We didn't really find out more or less what DNA was until maybe like the 80s, 90s. You know what I mean? You start having these cold case files, people that may have thought killed somebody or raped somebody was getting found not innocent, right? Now check this trippy shit out, right? Now again, you had these people talking about DNA, right? Now I don't believe in any shape, form, or fashion that we evolved from apes to monkeys. I don't get that because no way in hell a monkey has 50 chromosomes and whatever. We have 48. We wasn't lose. That's a lot of DNA. We wouldn't lose 2 whole chromosomes and become better, right? But on the human, or like Homo sapiens, we have, I believe, it was chromosome 2 and 3. They're fused together. Now,
are fused.
You only find things more or less that are fused and things that have been genetically modified, right? But this, we're going to take it one step better, right? We also have what you call a lot of junk DNA, right? Now, this is, again, you have diseases, right? You have diseases. I give you one for sure, like I said, spinal bifida affects children. Now, normally, medicine got a little better, but, a child would die before the age of being able to mature enough to reproduce. We're going to take one spinal bifida, right? So we're talking about to this day. So that error, that gene error marker, should not be in our gene pool because if it's coming from back then, that if this child or baby or whoever would die normally before this is the time for age for them to reproduce, there's no way in hell that error should have found its way back in the gene pool. What I mean by that is if you have a rat, you take a whole bunch of rats, right, and one of them is born with a deformity, normally the other rats will turn around and eat it and kill it. So that genetic mile marker, that deformity won't find itself way back into the gene pool. Literally, animals do this. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not even talking about far as barbaric and them going and, and killing someone that's blind, but that one in particular thing, I'm just giving you, this one disease in particular, something, again, that should not have found its way back into our gene pool. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying, Raph, that this is true, but this is what these people wrote down as part of their history and their culture, right? Which predates this Bible.
I know everything.
Yeah,
I read
I think I'm saying, but again,
Zachariah Snitchin's the one who.
More than just him, you have people from Harvard, Yale. They try to discredit him. Yeah, you know what I mean. But again, I'm just saying that predates this book, by thousands of years. So going back to your belief, because again, the root word to belief is to be unsure. How do you still believe? Just giving all this right here. Just a little bit.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I keep trying to tell you. Like, I just believe there's a higher power. My answer is everything. I just can't believe everything happened by chance. Like, the reason I ask you, where do we all come from? So, if you believe,
I don't know,
modern scientists, okay, like, they'll tell you that millions and billions of years ago it's gone through many phases. First it was like trillions of light years of space, then thousands, then a pinhead, then nothing. Whatever it was exploded and then expanded out everything. Like, there's no possible way. Like, if you believe that, that's another religion. You just don't know it. Like, it's a religion. There's no way to prove that actually happened. Like, I just feel like it makes more sense that there's things that just don't make sense without a designer. Now, whether it be aliens and that's the God that I believe in, or, there's got to be something else, man. Like, the Zachariah snitching, going through the Anunnaki and all that stuff, I'm right there with you, man. Like, everything, I've read all that stuff. I'd more believe that than everything just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go ahead and work off that. So, you agree that maybe we believe in the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Maybe that's who our God is. And you know what? We also talked about earlier on the show how, like, when a man writes a story and he keeps writing that story, the story gets changed up a bit, right? People change up details, people miss out details, so on, and the story could look completely different. So basically, what if our origin is with the whole Anunnaki, smart creation, or creation by design, whatever. Intelligent design, that's it. And what if, instead of Anunnaki, we replace him with, like, a more humanoid type of God? And that is what case you have God. And then even the Anunnaki, I think they were displayed to have wings. Who else has wings? Angels. Like, basically, I think we're taking that origin story and it's just changed so much, but it just looks completely different. And it's more or less what the Bible we have now, with the Quran, with the First Testament, whatever the fuck all that stuff is. I don't really know.
Again.
No, it's just like Zaire's original question that he just dropped. But it's like it says in the beginning, we'll create man in our image, who is ours.
Who is us, who is
And
us.
that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, who is ours?
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
And for me, I believe it's Anunnaki, if anything.
yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, yes, I believe that there's a God, but there's a lot of space out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like any creator of this universe, whether he created them as well, everything, like, there's a lot of space out there. There's more stars than you can even fathom.
Yeah, most stars
We can't even think of a number that high.
Yeah, it's more.
You know,
I mean,
one thing.
for me, before you say sorry, I'm no scientist. I really don't know my shit here, but when you drop like a nuke and, you know, there's a huge nuclear wave, that shit can alter life, it can maybe make life, it fucking does shit. So the belief that a Big Bang explosion did happen and that we're across space, yeah, I can totally believe that will make shit, that will make life, that would form elements. To me, that is
but
very
I mean,
believable.
the reason they believe a Big Bang, a biggest reason is because space is forever expanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just keeps moving out. Everything's getting, pushed out more and more. But in order for you to believe that there was like a Big Bang and space, you have to believe it's always done that. And we just don't know that. What if space stopped moving at some point? We would never know. We only have had telescopes.
It's hard to be able to figure that out.
Exactly. Science, much science that we have today is just as equal a religion as any one of these books that ZAIRE is bringing up.
You know, one thing that adds to that, though, is, believe it or not, but the Catholic Church recognizes evolution, like, as true. Like, not partially true, like, completely true. Like, the current Pope looks at that as, like, part. He doesn't see God as, like, a divine being or a magician, but a creator who brought all of that into fruition. So the Big Bang, all of that, that's how they see it. Like, it's not like I think, at least from what I understand, they don't look at the 6,000, they don't look at any of that early Earth stuff, they don't look at any of that. Like, you might as well discard, like, I mean, probably not every Christian, but like Catholics generally don't look at the early Earth thing at all. Like, they just look at it like, God caused the Big Bang, caused evolution, and all these other things. And I think the other thing that would give some people to have some doubt in evolution is because you have to look at it from, like, a detective perspective. Like, there are certain things that's missing. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, we don't have any more Tasmanian devils. They're gone. They're extinct. So 1,000,000 years from now, you won't have any fossils of it completely, because the way life is constructed now, things don't get discarded. Like, when an animal dies, they eat everything, like the bones, the organs, all of that goes. So there's not going to be fossil fuels. The reason you can have dinosaurs is because at least supposedly 90% of the life died out when the asteroids or whatever was supposed to have hit. So because of that, like, the thing is now, like, there's a lot of species that we wiped out that will never have fossils. So those are like if you're trying to investigate a murder and all of the evidence is gone, it doesn't mean that murder didn't happen, but now it's at a point where it's like, it's almost inconclusive. So it sucks from a human perspective that you're trying to look into things, but that's the thing with science, is there are some dead ends. There's some things you just can never know, unless you just have some kind of time displacement device that allows you to go and witness things. Like, I think the thing with religion is, I think for most people, believing is easier than just saying, okay, we don't know this, maybe we will never know this, maybe this won't happen in my lifetime or your grandchildren's lives. Like, I think religion makes it easy to just be like, okay, well, God did this because I don't have any better explanation.
That's the point.
No, and see, that's exactly why I don't have a religion, man. Like, I ask too many questions.
You know what the thing is too, is when you ask a scientist something they don't know, they'll just say I don't know. But when you ask a religious person something they don't know, they're like, well, you have to have faith. Like, to me, that's unacceptable. Like, you can't just tell me I have to believe it because I don't know. Like, to me, that's illogical. Like, if you don't know, then you have to.
But that's why I said again,
like,
religious
what are you just gonna
keeps us. I hate to use the word dumb, or keeps us within the box.
Pacified, is that the word you're looking for?
You know, and again, you know what I mean? It was Beyond Wisdom. Well, no, listen, we gonna let my Beyond
What's going on, man?
I was trying to get you in earlier. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you the same question.
I had to work a 12-hour shift because my coworker called in,
Not a problem, but I got a question for you.
It's okay.
But I'm here to listen for a little bit.
All right, but listen, let me ask you a question. Beyond Wisdom, why don't you believe in with Jesus or God or religion? Why don't you believe?
It's because it's a scapegoat and it's written by the hands of man, just to validate freaking fallacies of the human stature in the human mind.
Explain, and harp on that. Like, why? Tell me, talk to me. What's up? How did you get from there? What it was something that you read in the book that you couldn't go with, or talk to me?
I've read everything, actually. I read all 66 books of the Bible. I've read the New Testament several times to impress people.
Oh, man.
I've been condemned and destroyed by multiple religions. Said I should burn in hell for my statements because I actually ask questions about deities and stuff like that, too.
But what was it about one thing you read in the book? They like, oh man, this here, was it something in Leviticus? They talk to me, what's going on? Like, what was it? You like, oh man, I can't get with this here. What was it? It had to be something that would say, you know what? I can't get with this. Like, what was your breaking point or your turning point?
Yeah, the easiest way to see it is everything's written in third person.
Okay.
So it has to be a story.
Okay. And the hard one, expand on that. What do you mean? Give me an example.
Okay, the examples you've probably given already is the Genesis. Genesis is written in a third-person perspective, not the actual person who wrote it. There are fallacies across the board when it comes to the first 13 verses of Genesis. Actually, first 13 chapters of Genesis, actually.
Okay.
And there's just too many holes scientifically to invalidate the claims, the exaggerated claims that a deity created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah. So as a kid or as an adult, have you always felt this way?
Yeah, pretty much since I was around 7, 8 years old. Once I read the Bible.
Damn. I mean, that era.
And what would your answer then be beyond wisdom on to how were we created? How did reality come into existence, really? Do you believe in the Big Bang? What do you believe in?
Most people can screw the fact between that a theory in scientific form is different than theory in layman's terms.
Okay. No, but
so imagine taking like a huge fucking hotel room. It's completely trashed. Fucking beer and shit everywhere. Fucking panties all over the fucking place. Or fucking must have been a huge massive party there. If you invite a couple people in, look around, and all of a sudden they're like, "Fuck, Kanye was here." Go downstairs, look around the lobby, you see nobody signing things in. You see a freaking a sheet list of a bunch of random names and random names. And then reverse, forward, reverse, and forward. Just random stuff just sitting there. Like, okay, that can't be the case, but it has to be Kanye. Because it's crazy writing.
It has to be Kanye.
It's crazy writing.
It has to be Kanye? Oh, man.
Then you go out to the lobby, and you're like, holy shit, Kanye was at this party. Really? All right, cool. I walks down the street. Says, dude, man, this place down the street had Kanye there. Let's go check out. He left some stuff here. Oh, he left some stuff here. Oh, another dude fucking listens to him. Oh shit, that has to have been Kanye. So they all show up at this place, look into the room. It's completely trash, and you make the assumption it's Kanye.
All right. Well,
30, 40 million years pass. Boom. There's evidence that a dog knocked down everything in the room.
Well, it had to be the spirit of the guy to get inside that dog. I like that one. hey, Raph, you there, good brother?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You said Raph. You still here, Raph?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, again, like I said, we didn't offend you today, or
no, you ain't gonna
no,
offend
okay,
me, man.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I just just making sure.
Open-minded people don't get offended.
Well, it happens. I always got to throw out the disclaimer.
It's the bigots that choose their deity as a way, as a scapegoat to just trash humans across the board and human intuition that get to me, like the Joel Osteens of the world and the Pat Robertsons of the world. Those kind of people.
Crazy, ain't he?
What's up, Jim Baker? Those kind of people.
You know what? I didn't realize that.
Jimmy Swagger.
I didn't realize that guy was so racist. What's my man named Pat Roberts or whatever? What's his name? Pat Roberts.
Him and Jim Baker.
Yeah, he's really racist. Let me check it out, right? No, I don't get down with that.
Jim Baker's a rapist and a bigot.
Nah, but listen,
he got away with rape and was served 5 years in jail.
Let me tell you something about my man Pat Roberts, right? And I don't watch the show when spooky stuff, but somebody had like combined some of his sayings. He had Michelle Obama. She had her dress with her arms out, and she's dressed too much like the woman of the world, right? And was talking about how she was dressed, right? Then they come on years later, and they had the new photos of Donald Trump's wife. See that picture there? That's like innocence, like Eve was in the garden. Like, oh, you can't be.
Yeah, they pretty much called Michelle Obama monkeys.
Yeah, more or less. I'm being nice here, you know.
That's some fucking bullshit.
I said, wow. That in itself, but hey man, you know what? Hey, but again though, that's and listen, a lot of people don't like to touch on it, and maybe I'll say that on next week's show, right? And I guess I'm trying to make a sense. It's just open for discussion. Like my problem, and I'm gonna shut that. We're gonna go after this, right? Not my problem, but what I don't understand, like with as far as these religions, or whatever, people pick and choose what they want to believe, or what they want to stay away from. You know what I mean? I think if any, person, with a, not even a high IQ, were just to read the Bible. So again, a lot of, like I said, these religions or whatever you sign up for, it was taught to you by somebody, was taught to you by somebody. Most wasn't given a choice to whatever, right? You know what I mean? It is what it is.
You weren't born with it.
Yeah, okay. No one's born with it, right? And so, like, you read some of those stories there that are in this book. We talking about, again, a religion that it was okay with slavery. There's several, scriptures within the Bible that says there to be a good slave is to be a good Christian. That's just one of them, Peter, right? Oh shit! Oh my God! I dropped my phone. Hold up. Hold on. I dropped my damn remote.
Controller.
Yeah, I dropped my controller. Wait. I did it again. Wait, hold on. Wait till I get back to my. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, there are a lot of scriptures, passages in the Bible that's okay with slavery. Now, again, whether you people. That's what I'm talking about. They pick and they choose. The Catholic Church funded slavery. They would pay for the boats and actually bless them that go from Europe to come to Africa to get slaves. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. You know what I mean? But again, I'm talking about people like to pick and choose. This again is not something, this is something fact. And actually in the 80s, what's the famous Pope in the 80s? Pope Francis, what was his name? Was the Pope in the 80s, right? He went to Africa, I believe.
Wasn't Pope John Paul II?
The famous one, the most known in the 80s, whatever. He went to Africa.
Yeah, that was the.
And apologized.
Pope John Paul I.
Okay, and apologized.
Pope John Paul I, actually.
He apologized to whatever African king or prince was there at the time for the Catholic Church involvement in, in slavery. Because they were, again, I told you, like I said, the Catholic Church always had money. It's about their money. They will finance the boats, the trips to go to Africa to get slaves, right? And not to get too spooky. That's why I said, and I raised this question on Facebook, right? They get mad at me, and I said, what has been the worst thing to happen to people of color? Was it A, religion, B, slavery? You know what I mean? Because I don't care what you believe in, whether you was praying to that tree, whether you was praying to that duck out in the ocean, whatever you was praying in Africa, it wasn't a Christian, what they call you. That's what it is. Listen, if I'm lying, I'm flying, right? My uncle, my grandmother's son, right? Now, me and this guy, I always give you guys a true story before I leave, right? Now, this is my grandmother's son. Now, my uncle was I'm 39, he's about 13 or 14 years older than me. My grandmother's youngest child. Even though he's older, we came up in the same household. So we were more or less raised like brothers, and like that was my uncle, right? So anyway, and he's a cop. So when I say that me and him have always been, never seen eye to eye with anything, even as a kid, right? even somebody discuss. He the type of joker that, then mind you, my uncle is a half hour past midnight, but black as they come, right? He the type of joker that watched my man that got shot in the back down in South Carolina. I was running away from the cop. See, had he stopped when the cop called him, he wouldn't have got shot. You guys got, he one of them dudes right there, right? So, you know, I don't know. Like, he's never really been one to go into church. Like, I think when you get a certain age, I don't know what it is. Everybody become very religious. You know what I mean? Like, very, when you get a certain age, everybody to me become very religious. So he come. I don't, which I don't understand. When people, I guess when they find this new faith or whatever the case may be, they always want to come minister you and try to put you hip to what's going on, what you missing, right? And because again, I used to sing at church every Sunday. He never used to go to church. I used to get mad. Grandma, he ain't got to go to church. I used to be there every Sunday, faithfully singing. My face, all this Vaseline on my face, and then singing. It is what it is, right? So he said to me, I said, Danny, I said, all right, well, fine, right? I said, you believe everything is, that's right, because if it wasn't real, God wouldn't allow it to be there. I said, okay, Danny, so you do realize that we wasn't, we wasn't Christian in Africa. See, first of all, I ain't no African. I'm not saying that you're African, Danny. I'm just saying people of color were the Christian, right? Check it out, right? So, but you know what? See, the problem, why they became slaves, is it says there that it says in the Bible, I'm a God, a jealous put all the gods before me. So I'm like, this nigga trying to justify slavery because they was out there, whatever they was doing in Africa, right? So if we wouldn't have came in as slave, Jesus Christ was my savior. So everything's a part of God's plan. So this joker literally was on the phone with me, okaying slavery, because that's how he became Christian, Lord Jesus Savior. That's how much this religious thing is spooky, right? So you know me, right? Me being the brainiac that I am, so I'm giving him all the rope to hang himself. So he think he got me now, right? And mind you, I'm appalled. I am appalled. Listen, we talking about somebody that's straight. He remind me of Calvin on what's my man? What's on Django? What's Samuel Jackson character name on Django? That's what my uncle remind me of, bro. Calvin. Listen, check it out, right? So I said, all right. So it says there, I said, Danny, I heard you say something about that we were out there praying the rocks and stuff, and that's why we became slaves. I said, okay, all right, fine, I give you that. So it says that, I am a God, a jealous God, put no other God before me, right? Yeah, it says it right there. I said, okay. So then this he wants to talk about the Catholic Church and why they got so many problems with kids because they be praying to people. He on his high horse now. I said, okay. I said, Uncle, if that's the case, right? It says, I am God, a jealous God, put no other God before me. I said, why do you say amen? Because that's the way you in your prayer. I said, Danny, amen is short for Amen-Ra, the Egyptian sun god. What are you talking about? I said, Amen-Ra is short for Amen, which is now the Egyptian sun god. So you praying to another god. You talk to my face, turn about white, the death, man. I was so many cuss words. It says it right there. Amen-Ra is the Egyptian sun god. So why do you say amen? You know what I mean? Oh man, I don't think my uncle spoke to me. This about a year ago. He ain't spoke to me since, man. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. When people sign up for stuff and don't do the corpus behind this damn thing, I had to set them up for the okie doke, man. Like literally, I literally haven't spoke. I mean, not really since then, yo. Like literally, like that thing, he got the people out here looking spooky, man. But anyway, man, thank you guys for rocking out with this God versus religion versus science versus evolution. Now next week, if I'm blessed, if the good Lord Jesus let me be here next week to do this show, we're gonna flip it. We're gonna bring a little bit. Like I said, we're gonna break it up. I'm not gonna just do. I'm looking for people from other faiths. So anybody out there, Islam or anything, like I said, we all welcome. I ain't trying to, disrespect anybody's believing. Like I said, it's just open for conversation. That's all. But we're gonna flip. We're gonna do something a little different next week. It's gonna be fun. Thank you guys for rocking out with us. I'd like to shout out to my man Wrath for coming on the show. He said the only way he can join was an Xbox Live. So I said, you know what? I got something for you, bro. I can get you in here. I'm going to do it a little different for you today. But anyway, like I said, thank you guys for rocking out. You'd be so kind to hit the like button. Like I said, broadband bullies, man. I'm trying to get a radio station. We're working. Like I said, we trying to do a little bit of everything over here. I got a bunch of new talents and new cats. King's Blood Gaming. I got J Wags. He's new. Needles just finally made his channel. Like, we out here working, man. Thank you. We got the Discord, too. Information Beyond Wisdom. You still tasting the pies for a living? What you out there doing, Beyond Wisdom? I ain't seen you. You got the channel up yet, Beyond Wisdom?
Yeah, my channel's still there. The only last thing I posted up was some Nier Automata freaking footage, because I ended up picking it up. Just wanted to test it out. But
We'll get that battery back. We'll get you going.
Probably Halo 3 related. I'll probably do kind of like what Rand did with a little backstory on Halo 3, I guess. 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, and my announcement would be I'm working on my second video, and it is also Halo 3.
Oh wait, you got you got your first video up yet, Neethams?
Yeah, I can tell you more.
Wait, all right.
Yeah,
is it up already?
Not official, not like open.
Oh man, it's joking here, man. Oh man, he ain't got no video up, man. All right. All right. But anyway, thank you guys for swinging out, and I actually have a video done. Should I make it go live now? I should, man. I'm gonna get an edit and put it up now. I'll make it go live now. Thank you for rocking out with your boy Next Gen. We out here, man. It was a good show today, man. It was a good show, man. I appreciate it, man. Oh man, swung by after work. Dope stuff. Let me stop the stream. Bacon.